As you guys know, the Fortnite community this season especially has been an absolute shambles. So a video that we like to do is take a look at what the community has to say. Typically, we have some pretty rational takes over here at our little corner of the internet that we have over here, because if you just take a look at, and this is what we've been doing recently, if you just go online, take a look at Twitter, take a look at TikTok, comment sections everywhere, or different threads, people are absolutely ridiculous. So I would love to know what people think about this season or what's going on with Fortnite in general, and we make these videos throughout our Discord. Hello everybody, and welcome back to another video. If you are new here, my name is Kyle. I'm your guy with too many YouTube channels, and welcome back to Talk at Clen, everybody. We're asking you guys to, like I just said, jump into the Discord and give me something to talk about. We take a look at all of these, I react to them. These are all blind reactions from my side, so let's just get straight into it. A little bit of a long intro, apologies for that. So let's start off with Ahmed. Is it just me, or Fortnite events weren't as good after Chapter 2 Season 8? The reason I think so is because we don't really stay on the island. Events make chapters feel good and feel memorable. Take, for example, the Travis Scott or Galactus event. Heck, even Operation Skyfire. What do you mean, heck, even Operation Skyfire? That was a fantastic event. At least had something to do with the island, like feeling you were on top of it. But other events just don't, like, for example, Fracture or the Season OG event or the Ariana Grande event. It was decent and better than nothing. We got 2 events that season. I don't know, correct me if I'm wrong. So the problem is you're comparing the events to Chapter 2 Season 8, which is structurally, it's not my favorite event, but structurally the way that was put up, the way that was presented was the best season. Objectively, it was the greatest event that Fortnite has ever had in Chapter 2 Season 8. The problem is, of course, and I hate to be this guy, but I don't want to be the, oh, well, Donald Mustard's gone, that means Fortnite's going downhill, but you're not going to have that same passion with the events that Donald Mustard had, and I think it shows, man. I didn't even like Collision nearly as much, personally, but the problem is, too, events now, and the event at the end of this chapter is probably going to be a little bit more geared towards the Metaverse, which is unfortunate. It doesn't capture the magic that a bunch of Fortnite events had, but I don't think that they're ever going to beat the Donald Mustard events. I don't know. I don't really agree with the reason. I would love to know if you guys think differently down below. I don't think it's the reason that we're kind of staying on the island. I don't think that matters. I think it's all the passion of Donald Mustard's gone. Let's keep going on. Every day Fortnite feels more soulless. Everything is corporate and it's awful. I get that. But I wouldn't say it feels soulless, because the seasons have still been good. I've been really enjoying the season. Well, I mean, like, that's a controversial take that the season's good, but they are being a little bit more geared towards, again, like we were talking about, they're more geared towards the Metaverse, but I think that we're still in this transition period. I think that they're going to get the hang of it. I think the locker UI is going to get fixed. I think that the UI is eventually going to get fixed, because that is a big thing about people really thinking that Fortnite feels a little bit more soulless, more corporate. I think that season's been getting better, and they will continue to get better. Plus, they're going to add more modes, so I would wait right now. I think we're in a transition period. They should make Lego Festival and the Rocket Racing game mode, forgot its name, spin-off games you install that you don't have to do with the core Fortnite, like creative and VR. It makes everything complicated. It makes all the jam tracks free, for God's sake, because why do they have to be paid? Some things, just same thing goes for Lego kits. Well, I mean, like, you want Epic Games to make money. They're putting out a free game over here. They have to charge for that stuff. They have to make their money. So that I disagree, but I don't know, like, to make them all add-ons, that'd be interesting if Epic Games ever wanted to do that, but of course they want Fortnite to be the find it in Fortnite type thing. So think about it this way: if you're Epic Games and you want people to test out the Lego mode, for example, you want it to be right there. You don't, because if somebody wants to try the new Lego mode, they're not going to sit down and wait for it to download. Like, very few people, unless they're like really that interested in it, but they have to make it easy for you to play. So while that would be nice, while it would be cool to not have that storage space for everything that you play, Epic Games needs to have it that way. Let's keep going. I'm embarrassed to be part of this community where people harass the devs so much that they have to private their accounts or leave social media. We finally reached a point where people don't just hate us because we play Fortnite. We finally made it to where we are accepted as a gaming community. The people who harass the devs and just bring us 2 steps backwards in the progress we've made as a community. I hate that we're going to be disrespected again. I've said this a bunch of times recently. I no longer think it's any specific community, because, like I said, I've been in different gaming spaces for a long time. Halo, Call of Duty. I'm experiencing League of Legends now. It's not even this community. It's just people in general. As time goes on, people are getting more depressed. People are getting more angry. People are going online to complain about stuff. And I don't think it is the Fortnite community anymore. I will say, like I said this in a bunch of videos, you guys have nothing on the Smash Bros community. That's for sure, about being a horrible community. So I think it's just people. I don't think that it's anything about Fortnite. But regardless, like, I don't understand. Like, you have to be a special kind of person to go out and be like, hey, I'm upset about this update. I can't, like, it's shocking to me still that this type of stuff happens, where, hey, I'm pissed off about this update. I'm gonna go dox an Epic employee. Like, that's actually crazy that happens. You need those people need help, man. But of course, they're not representative of the casual player or the average Fortnite player. But for the gaming communities, I don't like to hate on the Fortnite community anymore, because I think it's just people. It's just bad people, and they're in every single community, and they always just show up. So just imagine. How many people are really getting that pissed off about an update that they're going and harassing an Epic dev? I know there's a handful of people, but I mean, like, it's crazy to me. It'll happen in any community at this point. I kind of feel bad for Charlie Wen in all of this. He seems like he's trying to do his best. I mean, in Chapter 1, we went from essentially the plot a Meteor Season 3 to a black hole. In Chapter 5, it went from saving a banana to Greek gods. We even got a mini-event. But because the higher-ups and possible confliction stuff and in-game events and proper story progression seem to have a bad environment to grow with him like it did with Donald. Okay, I understand what you're saying. Yeah, Donald definitely had more of a say about what's been going on with Fortnite back in Chapter 1. There was a lot more they could have experienced with, and now Fortnite has this brand new mission. But like I said, man, I think we're in a transition period, and I think that we're going to get past it. So I do feel bad for Charlie Wen as well, because it's clear that he's really, really trying. And I think that with each season that he's had so far, the story's been getting a little bit better. So as Cyan would say, let him cook. It'll be okay. Even though most of the community wants it, OG2 being Chapter 2 is not that good of an idea. There wasn't that much content in Chapter 2 to begin with, and the map barely changed. As well as most of Chapter 2 just wasn't that good. Sure, many people remember it fondly today. I'm not one of them. Most of the seasons, especially in the later half, we're not liked at that time. People already wanted Chapter 1 back. Sure, seasons 2, 3, and 7 might have been fun. To be honest, can't speak for 2 and 3. I already stopped playing by then, and it didn't come back until season 4. Seasons 1, 6, and 8 were some of the worst in the game's history for the people. They are the worst. It's also not like Epic can bring back all the stuff from season 4 and maybe season 5 due to licensing, which leaves out one of the better seasons. Looking at the map, it barely changed at all. Unlike Chapter 1, which got new biomes and POIs almost every season, Chapter 2 never got a new biome that was permanent, and even then they weren't good except for season 5. What happened instead was Epic changed and recolored the middle seven times and made small, almost unnoticeable changes on the rest of the map. Just go to Fortnite GG and look at the map evolution. I mean, they turned the middle orange twice for no good reason. The Chapter 2 map was the worst map the game has ever had because it's boring. There's no variation to it and it barely changed. OG worked because Chapter 1 was iconic and nostalgic. Chapter 1's map changed and was well designed. Chapter 1 was actually fun. Chapter 2 has only nostalgia going for it. It was not well received at the time and it is a poorly designed map. Edit. In response to some replies, none of these are actual changes though. Most of these are just recolors of anything. The only real change was season 5. Even season 3 was just water. Compare that with Chapter 1's evolution, you'll see what the real change looks like. Okay, a little bit to unpack there. That's tough because there were a lot of people who came into the game in Chapter 2, and their Chapter 2 is how you might feel about Chapter 1. Chapter 2 was peak Fortnite, in my opinion, coming from a Chapter 1 player, and the problem is, you're right, where while we were in Chapter 2, the community was not appreciating it nearly enough, and they were like, we want OG back, right? But the problem is, and I don't know if you're coming this way, I hope I'm not taking you wrong, but it seems like you're somebody who wants OG Fortnite to just come back and be permanent. That would be, it would get stale really, really quick. And Chapter 1, I would say, only has nostalgia going for it. Well, that's not true. Not only nostalgia, but a lot of players are blinded by nostalgia, and the reason that they liked it, and I will sit on this, the reason that they loved OG is because they actually sat down and tried to love OG. If you did the same thing for Chapter 2, you would like it as well. The map changes didn't stick around, but they changed a lot. Every single time the middle, I don't want to say every single time, most of the time the middle map was changed. Like, you bring up Chapter 2 Season 3, the water changed the whole map. It's not, I don't think it's fair to say that it didn't really make for a big change, because it changed the entire gameplay and it was one of the greatest seasons of all time. So, but the point you bring up, like, Chapter 1 was iconic and nostalgic, that doesn't necessarily mean that it was better than Chapter 2. Chapter 1's map changed and was well designed. I will agree with that. I will say that Chapter 1's map was infinitely better than Chapter 2's. Chapter 1 was actually fun. That's all personal opinion. There's so many people that love Chapter 2. And think about it this way. Epic Games wouldn't be bringing back Chapter 2 as an OG season because you could just bring back Fortnite OG. If they're that confident in Chapter 2 being kind of as good as OG Chapter 1, that's something to take into consideration too. And Chapter 2 only has nostalgia going for it. It was not well received at the time and has a poorly designed map. The problem is, Chapter 1 was the same way. In Chapter 1, I wanted to make a video talking about this. In Chapter 1, Everybody was crying about the poorly designed map and how we need a brand new one. Every single season from Season 5 to Season X, with the exception of Season 8. Maybe, because even then everybody was crying about siphoning the ballers. Everybody hated it just as much. Everybody hated it. Chapter 1, Seasons 3 and 4 is when the community liked it. After that, everybody was really pissed off. So it's a very interesting take. I would love to know what you guys think down below about this, and please let me know if I misrepresented you in any way, because I hope that's not the case. But you seem to be like, oh, okay, well, Chapter 2 sucks. OG's better. OG should be permanent. That's kind of what I'm getting from this, but I don't mean to be. I don't mean that in a disrespectful way at all. And next up, we actually have a reply to that. The map barely changed. See, this is exactly what I'm talking about, because the map changes weren't permanent, but they were significant. Even in Chapter 2, Season 6, the map changes were significant there. The new POIs were great. I loved the Spire. I'm sorry. The Spire was fantastic in my opinion, but I understand what you're saying. Like, they ended up erasing them. I wish they didn't do that, but especially Chapter 2, Season 3, that's crazy. That's crazy. The Pyramid POIs were great. I loved it. So, yeah, the map definitely did change, though. Let's continue on. I think there's a likely possibility the cars will face a similar fate to the mechs. Season comes out, pro players and some others cry about it. Some people leave and won't return even after they get nerfed and get more counters. Then the season will mainly be remembered for them and how broken they felt to be at the beginning, and will title the entire season unplayable because of it. Then we will wonder whether Epic will keep the car stuff or revert it in the next season. Oh my god, it's already happening. It's already happening, and you know what, that I would have thought the same thing, to be honest. So yeah, good call, Mark. Comp players are ruining this season with another nerf. Okay, we've talked about this so many times, guys. It's important not to just say comp players, because there are a lot of fantastic comp players out there. There's a lot of great competitive players that are either adapting or just dealing with what they have to deal with and bringing up their criticisms for the game in a nice, respectable way. But the only problem I have is with the comp players who do want to change the game, even for pubs. So that's just where I'm at, but I don't even really have a problem with them. I just kind of shake my head, but that's pretty much it. So yeah, the competitive players are more responsible for ruining the season with another nerf, but it's important to just not group them all into one, because in reality, there is a loud minority of people on Twitter. Someone please tell me a single competitive player who doesn't want a separate loot pool and wants comp loot in pubs. I don't know of any. But that's just another reason why I believe that everybody should be hyping up on Epic Games right now, talking about, hey, we need the separation of the loot pools, because Epic has this insane idea, in my opinion. And I hate to criticize Epic Games because they're a fantastic company, but that's just the reality of the situation. Epic Games is not making the right decision here. Pubs and comp need to be separated. Loot pool needs to be separated. And guys, if you want to hear my thoughts on that specifically, check out this video on screen where we talk about how it is officially time for Epic Games to separate the two modes. I will see you either there or in the next video, guys. Take care.